Hi guys, this is Laurie Montoya with Biker Down and Motorcycle Rider News. We are down here at the Colorado Motorcycle Super Swap, and I had the great fortunate experience to get to meet Seth from Allstate down here in Colorado Springs.
Hey guys.
And it gives me a real unique opportunity to have a one-on-one with an agent because, as my listeners and everybody know, as you and I talked, insurance is one of the things that's really lacking for motorcycle riders to resonate with them.
Unfortunately, that's really true.
So, when you're meeting any of the motorcycle riders here, what would be one of the first things that you would want to find out from them?
Well, so one of the first things is that we need to take a look at their liability limits, because the thing is, people, unfortunately, because people aren't looking, people are getting hurt on motorcycles, and that's mostly because people aren't paying attention.
Right.
They'll double check for motorcycles, like always double check for motorcycles. But so it's going to be the liability limits, number one, because that's what protects you against someone else. But a lot of times there's a second portion that most motorcycle riders and a lot of people in general just don't know about, and that's the uninsured motorist bodily injury.
And you guys know I've been preaching that for years, but it's really important that you don't hear to what I have to say. Talk to someone who's an expert, a real insurance agent. So tell them a little bit about what it entails with uninsured.
So the thing is that from the last report that I saw, when it comes down to the amount of people that are driving around without insurance in Colorado, it's about 1 in 5. And so that's kind of scary because, if you have someone that clips you while you're driving around and they don't have insurance, you don't have anything to protect you for your medical bills.
Or the driver hits you and then takes off.
And then just speeds off, absolutely. And that's where the uninsured motorist bodily injury truly comes in, because this is going to be primarily for your medical bills if you get hit by someone who doesn't have any insurance or not enough insurance to cover everything. But it's also going to be there to replace your lost wages.
Right.
So
and
that's
here's
a big
one thing that he speaks insurance. You and I don't speak insurance. But the bottom line is what he's basically saying is that if that driver doesn't have enough or they don't have anything, then you in turn turn to your insurance company and say, hey, I've got underinsured motorists. Here's what I'm out. Here's my lost wages. Here's the medical bills. Here's my, what is it when you have a deductible with your insurance,
Yep,
like mine's $15,000 with Kaiser.
Mm-hmm.
None of us have
medical insurance deductible. Important to distinguish between those.
Exactly.
Health insurance deductible, because with the health insurance companies, they want you to pay X amount of dollars before they're going to start paying for everything. And so there's actually that secondary coverage called medical payments on your auto policy, which is a couple of bucks a month.
Or short for MedPay.
MedPay, exactly. And it actually, with most companies, it goes in increments of $5,000, $10,000, and $25,000.
Right.
So I know it's going to be a bit more money, but the thing is that you want to have enough MedPay to cover your health insurance deductible for your family for the year. Because if you're on the back of the bike and let's just say you got a kiddo with you, they love riding with you, you're raising them right, etc., and you're raising them on motorcycles, and there's an accident that happens. And the thing is that, yeah, your individual deductible might be $3,500, but your family deductible might be $7,000.
Right.
And if both you and your kid are hit, if you have $10K in MedPay, guess what? Not only do you have that $7,000 out of pocket covered, but also at the same time, if there's extra, you can use it towards chiropractic, medical massage, anything that's any other stemming issue that comes from that accident.
Right.
So if there are some coverages that you need on a motorcycle policy, it's uninsured motorist and medical payments.
Because what I always tell people is it really doesn't matter what motorcycle attorney that you like or you care for or whatever billboard lawyer that you pick. If you don't have the right coverages personally, and then the driver that hit you doesn't have anything, they're going to say, I'm sorry that I can't help you. Now Biker Down is doing another fundraiser. We're doing everything we can to try to keep your nose above water. And one of the other things I'd really like to talk to you about, because I preach, I don't want to say preach, but I really advocate strongly, is the difference between calling 1-800-INSURANCE and actually having an insurance agent. Are you an agent? You're an agent?
So I work for an agent, but I may as well be an agent. I take care of my clients. We handle the customer service side of things. I mean, it's, I don't own the business. I work for the agent.
Right.
But yes, for all intents and purposes, I am an insurance agent. I just work for someone.
So what is the difference, and what are the benefits of having that? I know we're going to get into a good area.
I was going to say it's a big question.
In a short version, what is the benefit of having an actual agent versus calling,
800, 1-800. All right, so there are going to be a huge bunch of differences, guys, and this is where it truly comes in, because when you call an 800 number, the thing is that you're not going to get the same person every time. Let's just say you have a claim or something like that. You call it in, and then all of a sudden, you know what? You get off the phone and, crap, I forgot. I totally had another question. You're going to wait on hold for another 20 minutes. Then you're going to get to a completely different person who has to review the claim, who has to do everything, and then they're going to advise you as best you can. As best as they can. The problem is that you don't know if this person has been working in insurance for 2 weeks. You don't know if this person has been dealing with insurance for 5 years or 20 years. And so the thing is that insurance knowledge is truly power. And so the thing is that it's so important to have someone, that is handling stuff for you that actually knows what they're doing, and that's not a newbie to it, because the thing is that you cannot guarantee the depth of their knowledge. And in insurance, one of the only things that can truly, that really can help you out as an agent is the experience.
And one of the things that I always tell people is that an agent's going to say, okay, you own a home. You have, 5 cars in the driveway. You have 4 bikes. You have this. Like I always say, people want to get hit by Laurie Montoya because I carry $1 million umbrella.
Absolutely.
Why do I carry $1 million umbrella? It's because if I were to truly be negligent and hurt someone,
correct,
it is very important. But I had a bad experience with my husband where we had underinsured and uninsured motorists on his bike, but then he sold that bike and bought a new one. Once he bought the new one, we called the agent. Somehow in the translation of keystrokes or whatever, it ended up that the uninsured on the bike that he had the accident on did not cross over. So they were like, no, we're not going to honor this. It was great that I was able to call my agent, who had been our agent for years.
Who had your back.
Who had my back.
Absolutely.
And called him and said, I'll call you back. And called me back probably 30 minutes later and said, this was a mistake on our part. They're going to honor it. But calling 1-800 insurance is not going to get you that. They're going to screenshot or send you something that you allegedly did online. And I'm not trying to down the insurance.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Mistakes happen. But having an agent who knows your first and last name, who knows where you live, who's been with you for a number, they are able to go to bat for you so that you are not feeling completely alone. I mean, no offense. We want to take most lawyers, insurance, all that, put cinder blocks, throw them in. But the point is that when you really need it, when you really truly need it, and motorcycle riders don't have 6 airbags to protect us. So the injuries that we sustain are greater than if you have those kind of airbags.
100%.
One of the things I'd also like to talk to you about, because a lot of my motorcycle riders ride a passenger on the back.
Absolutely.
So I'd really love for you to explain, like as an example, if he has liability only on the bike, can he get a coverage for a passenger?
Absolutely. So generally with a lot of motorcycle policies, you are going to have 2 different coverages. You're going to have your general liability, and then you're going to have, so general liability is going to be, to pay out if you injure someone else that is not on your motorcycle. You lose control of the bike and you hit someone who's walking down the side of the road or something like that. It's going to be for their bodily injury. But also the second coverage that is on a lot of motorcycle policies, not all, but a lot of them, is going to be passenger liability. So this is going to be coverage for, whoever's riding on the back of your motorcycle, whether that be girlfriend, fiance, wife, kid, friend that you met that you're giving a lift from a bar.
Some single gal that just wants to ride on the back.
Exactly, 100%. Someone that just wants to feel the thrill of being on a bike.
Exactly.
And so that's what the guest liability is going to be for, or passenger liability. Every insurance company has different names for, this coverage. But a good motorcycle policy is going to include both those, guaranteed every single time. So there are 3 coverages that even if you just carry liability on your motorcycle, you should be carrying. You definitely need the guest liability. You need to have the medical payments coverage, and I advise maxing that out, because the medical payments, or med pay, is actually for injuries that happen in or around the vehicle. So, I mean, for example, let's just say that, you're doing work on the bike, and I don't know, someone gets off the bike and they burn the inside of their leg on one of the tailpipes. I mean, how many people have done that? How many people have scars from that? That's why you wear the high boots and everything. But so that if you had to go to the hospital for something like that, your med pay would pay out on that.
Right.
And so imagine if it's, you $3,000 for the burn, and then you only have a $3,500 deductible. Your med pay is taking care of almost all your deductible for the year from your health insurance. Like, it just makes sense, and you're only spending a couple of dollars. There are a couple of things, and this is from my great uncle. There are a couple of things that you don't spare expense on. You don't spare expense on good company. Good people are worth spending money on. You don't spare expense on good food. You got to feed your body correctly. You don't spare expense on good insurance, because insurance, when stuff goes down, is what's going to protect you. And you don't spare expense on good toilet paper. And so
there we go.
The thing is that
drop
guys,
the mic.
Yep, 100%. So guys, the thing is that you need to carry these coverages. I know that it's going to be a little bit more a month. Like, I would say that adding, just depending, it could be an extra $15 to $30 a month to add the uninsured motorist, the med pay, and the guest liability. Man, come on! How many people are spending more than $30 a week on Starbucks?
And 85, you have to give up a pizza, or you have to give up a couple Starbucks. Make your coffee at home. It's pennies on the dollar. And if you have a $7 Fireball and a $9 beer in your hand with the new Chrome, then you cannot tell me you can't afford it. And if you tell me you can't afford it, you also cannot afford to not have it. One of the other things I would like to talk to you about is, obviously there's a bike show here.
Yes.
And you see, and a lot of these bikes maybe aren't ones that take on the road, but a lot of them are. So when you are insuring your bike, now you have a $20,000 paint job. Now you have all this custom stuff on it. Talk to them about the additional things that they should have.
If you have custom work to your bike, what you're going to want to do is, because when it comes down to comprehensive, so you have two different coverages, and people oftentimes don't know the difference because their insurance agent has not taken the time to explain them, or they've been with a 800 number company for their entire lives, and it's not really been something they've really gotten an education on. And so you have collision. Collision is when you're at fault in an accident. You screw up, you hit someone, you pay your deductible to get your vehicle fixed, your liability. Hang on one second. We got.
Thank God we have the microphone.
Absolutely. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, they can hear us.
When it comes to collision, that's going to be when you screw up. You pay your deductible to get your bike fixed. Your liability takes care of the other person's damages. Then you have comprehensive. Comprehensive is going to be things that are out of your control. Acts of God. I even had
like this sound guy over here that won't shut up.
A little bit. But so the thing is that. With comprehensive, that's going to be for things that are completely out of your control. Theft, vandalism. I remember there was a comprehensive claim at the old business that I worked at that someone had mice chew through the wires in their car, like wildlife, hitting a deer, all that. And so when you have custom work done to your bike, any of the custom work is going to need additional coverage. And this is going to be coverage for custom work. And usually it's in increments of about $5,000. And you're talking about on a yearly policy for, maybe $20,000, $30,000 in coverage for custom stuff. Maybe $20 or $30 a year more, maybe $50, depending on how much work that you've had. But when you break that down, if you put that much effort and that much love into your bike, you definitely want it covered because if something happens.
Right. And as somebody who deals with the aftermath after a crash, I cannot tell you how many times they're like, oh my God, my bags are worth this. My this is worth that.
Oh, yeah.
So I think in closing, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
And you need to have, and how would they get a hold of you here in Colorado if they need to? And I'll put your card at the end of the video, but how would they get a hold of you for what I would call a free insurance review? Oh,
absolutely. I'm happy to review it. And it's not just that, it's not going to be one of those things where, if I don't earn the business, I never talk to you again. No, I'm an advisor. I believe in an open door policy where if you need someone's input on something, I'm happy to put my professional 2 cents in. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a client of mine or not. I want people to be more informed about their insurance because knowledge is power, and especially with the way that the insurance industry is going with the effort of denying claims. I want to be able to give people tools that they can, they're paying for something, they're paying for a service that should pay out.
Yeah.
And so I need to give the people the tools to, be able to make sure that it's covered.
Okay, so before he turns the volume back up, we're going to close this out with underinsured and uninsured motorists.
Correct.
Med pay, possibly a rider policy for any of the accessories that they may have,
and passenger liability. Yep.
Okay, so I want you to meet our Allstate Colorado Motorcycle and Swap mascot. Come here, sweetheart. Luna. Come here. Come here.
This is the Allstate mascot for today.
That's our Allstate dog. Thank you guys for watching, and Seth, thank you for taking the time to meet with us. We
Call me at the Donnie Saunders Agency, 106 North Circle Drive. I'm here in Colorado Springs. If you need someone to help you out, I'm your guy.
And if you go down, biker down, steps up. Thank you.
You're very